In today's story, we will know why a princess wore the skin of a donkey. So let's start. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there was a wise and kind king who ruled over a peaceful land. He had everything a king could wish for: wealth, power, and a beautiful queen whom he loved dearly. Together they had a lovely daughter, Princess Alina. The princess was not only beautiful but also kind-hearted, and everyone in the kingdom adored her. However, one day the queen fell gravely ill. Despite all the efforts of the best doctors in the land, she could not be saved. On her deathbed, the queen called the king to her side and made him promise one thing. "My dear husband, if you ever remarry, promise me that you will only marry someone who is as beautiful and kind as I am." The king, deeply in love with his queen, promised her with a heavy heart. After the queen passed away, the king was filled with grief. Years passed, and the kingdom began to suffer without a queen. The people begged the king to remarry so that the kingdom could have a new queen. But the king remembered his promise to his late wife and refused to marry anyone who wasn't as beautiful and kind as she was. As time went on, the king began to notice that his daughter, Princess Alina, had grown to resemble her mother more and more. She was as beautiful and kind as the queen had been. The king, in his grief and confusion, thought that marrying his daughter would fulfill his promise to his late wife. Though this idea was strange and troubling, the king was blinded by his grief and decided to ask Princess Alina to marry him. When the princess heard of her father's intention, she was horrified. She loved her father but knew that marrying him was wrong. She was wise beyond her years and knew she needed to find a way to escape this terrible fate. She went to her fairy godmother for advice. The fairy godmother, who loved the princess dearly, was also shocked by the king's request. "My dear Alina," she said, "you must find a way to delay the marriage. Ask your father to give you 3 impossible gifts. This will buy us time to think of a plan to help you escape." The princess agreed and returned to the king. "Father," she said gently, "I will marry you, but only if you can give me 3 gifts. A dress as bright as the sun, a dress as glowing as the moon, and a dress as dazzling as the stars." The king, eager to please his daughter, called upon the finest tailors and seamstresses in the kingdom. To everyone's amazement, they succeeded in creating the 3 dresses just as the princess had requested. The first dress shone like the sun, the second glowed like the moon, and the third sparkled like the stars. Princess Alina was heartbroken when she saw that her father had fulfilled her request. She knew she needed another plan. She went to her fairy godmother once more, who told her, "Ask your father for one more thing: the skin of his prized donkey. This donkey is no ordinary animal. It provides the kingdom with endless gold coins. Without it, the kingdom will suffer." The princess was hesitant but knew she had no other choice. She went to the king and asked for the donkey's skin. The king, though puzzled by her request, loved his daughter so much that he ordered the donkey to be sacrificed and gave her its skin. With the donkey's skin in her possession, Princess Alina fled the palace that night. She wore the donkey's skin as a disguise, hiding her beautiful dresses underneath. She traveled far from the kingdom, through forests and across rivers, until she reached a distant land where no one knew her. In this new land, the princess found work as a servant in the kitchen of a great castle. She was mocked by the other servants because of her rough appearance in the donkey's skin, and they called her Donkeyskin. Despite the teasing, Princess Alina remained kind and gentle, doing her work without complaint. One day, the prince of the castle held a grand ball, inviting all the young women in the kingdom to attend. The princess, who had hidden her beautiful dresses, wanted to go but knew she couldn't be seen in her donkeyskin disguise. However, when all the servants were busy preparing for the ball, she snuck away to her tiny room, took off the donkey's skin, and put on the dress that shone like the sun. At the ball, everyone was dazzled by the mysterious princess who appeared out of nowhere. The prince was especially captivated by her beauty and grace. She danced with him all night, and once again, she won the prince's heart. The next night, the prince held another ball. This time Princess Alina wore a dress that shone like the moon. Again, the prince danced with her, and then she ran away before he knew who she was. On the 3rd night, she wore the dress that shone like stars, but before he could learn her name, Princess Alina ran away, leaving only a golden ring. Determined to find the mysterious princess, the prince announced that he would marry the woman who could fit the golden ring left behind. He went from house to house, searching for the girl who could wear the ring. When he arrived at the castle kitchen where Donkeyskin worked, she asked to try the ring, much to everyone's surprise. The other servants laughed at her, thinking it impossible that the ring would fit such a ragged girl. But when Donkeyskin slipped the ring onto her finger, it fit perfectly. The prince, astonished, realized that this humble kitchen servant was the mysterious princess he had danced with at the ball. He asked her to remove her donkeyskin disguise, and when she did, her true beauty was revealed to all. The prince and Princess Alina were married in a grand ceremony, and they lived happily ever after. The king, her father, who had been heartbroken after his daughter's disappearance, was invited to the wedding. He realized his mistake and was filled with joy to see his daughter happy and safe. And so, Princess Alina became the queen of the new kingdom, ruling with kindness and wisdom.